Trail Chat today, we welcome one of the stalwarts of trail running in South Africa, one of the originals, Mark Preen, who is very familiar with the history of Hout Trail Challenge. He was one of the original mountain goats out there in 2002 on the course, and has witnessed trail running shift, change, develop, grow, mushroom over the years. Has gone from a very competitive racer to remains competitive racer, but very much in support of his daughter, Hayley Preen's career these days. Mark, how do you think the personality of trail running in South Africa has changed from those early days to where we are now?
Well, trail running in the old days was very much something to do that why are you doing trail running? What's wrong with the road? And that's the way the trail runners were perceived. Now it's turned a complete full circle. Why are you running on the road when you've got the mountain? And that's the big shift that's happened with trail running. Yes, trail running has grown, is always going to grow, purely because it was, to me, the natural progression in running. I enjoyed the Knysna Marathon route back in those days more than I enjoyed the Peninsula Marathon, purely because the Knysna Marathon gave me a little bit of off-road running, where the Peninsula was just straight down a tar road.
Yeah, into the wind.
Trail running changed when prize money started getting involved in trail running, which was, yes, a natural progression. And the first time they gave prize money for puffer, I gave it back to the organizers to put into Table Mountain National Park. I said, I don't agree with this. I agree with trail running to be there to race against each other, but not for the reason of getting prizes. But that has changed now with sponsors coming in and all the rest of it. Now, but maybe with COVID, it goes back to the original, where we run for the enjoyment of running, not to get prizes. So that's where the trail running has changed.
It's going to be really interesting, as you've just touched on, to see what the trail or what the racing criteria and the way that we can race against each other and what that all means going forward. I think a lot of sponsors will take a while to come back into the different sports, different arenas. So we may well be running for the love of it and a high five rather than for a paycheck, which will be a disappointment to some of the top runners, but perhaps takes us back to our roots a little. Mark, could you describe Hout Trail Challenge when it was just a discussion between mates and how it evolved right in those early days?
Okay, originally there was only the puffer, and we were running the puffer every single year, and there was nothing really else. And then Richard Sutton and myself were discussing about having a race that was very much a three peaks race around Hout Bay. And it started off with, let's do something like a three peaks. Let's do something that we go to each peak. But we had no ways of firstly, we didn't really know the route up to the first southern peak, or suit up to the sand dunes. And one of the old trail runners, every year he comes and joins us, Toby Adams, he came up with a path that not many people knew about that dropped us down, and it's a route that we used. Then Richard wanted to do every peak after that, and I convinced him out of that. In fact, halfway through the first race, I convinced him to not go to the top of Grootkrop because we couldn't find it. It was shrouded in mist. And halfway and below, the little caves below, I was phoning him to say, Richard, we must pull this leg out of the race. I'll tell the next people that come along. Thank goodness I was in the lead. I'll tell the next people that come along to don't go up Grootkrop. And that's what actually happened. We left that marker out. And then the race revolved to that. Rather than a scramble up peaks and down again, it became a beautiful route around Hout Bay that showcased the best views of Hout Bay. And it is still an iconic race for views. You don't get better views of Hout Bay than doing that route. And that's a bit of the history of the race. I had no hand in organizing it. I just had a hand in planning the route.
And Mark, is there a particular moment, piece of the route that is your favorite or has a special emotional kind of connection with you?
There's a lot of different places. There's on leg one, it's a 13 corners. I used to stand up and give the route briefing every year. And I used to say, there are 13 corners from this point. So you go through 13 corners and you're getting to the top of Kobonkelberg. We used to run up that Kobonkelberg every day. We had time trials from the bottom to the top, to the radar hut. We had time trials there. So that's one of my favorite sections. The other section, leg 2, not so much exciting as far as I'm concerned. It's a beautiful leg, but nothing special. And another special one that I fell on my face on, which racing against, I called her Miss America. She was a lady that came across and won the race the one year and set the record. The name escapes me. Richard will mostly fill it in. But I was running with her and showing her the route. And next minute I fell flat on the face coming down from manganese mines, just when the most beautiful part of the view of Hout Bay is. And maybe I was looking at the view, not looking at where my feet should go. But other than that, it's just, there's so many different little spots which are spectacular.
Mark, you also progressed from competitive racer and very much part of the community of trail running in the Western Cape to supportive dad and coach to your daughter Hayley Preen, who is certainly no stranger to trail communities and trail racing conversations. She's had an exceptional career in just the few short years that she's been racing, and has made her mark as a team player on Hout Bay Trail Challenge. Will she be taking it on as an individual soon?
She loves the route. She really does. And I haven't allowed her up till now to run the whole route. I just think it's a little bit too far. She's been a bit too young for that. But she's getting to the point where the Otter and Table Mountain Challenge and Hout Bay Trail are within her grasp now. She's stuck at the ultra trail, the slight, the shorter distances. But I've never been a great one to push longer distances on a young body that's maybe still growing. So yes, the short distances are fantastic, and we've raced her a few times, and I've put together a team, and she's had a team, and we've raced each other, and we've run the same leg on one occasion, leg 2, and we compared our times, which came down to seconds apart. So I still like to be competitive. Not that I'm running right at the moment, but I'll get back there. Next year is a big year, another milestone for me. But anyway,
what are your racing plans for next year when we're finally allowed to crawl out of our holes?
Well, I go into over 60 category, so it's a whole new category out there. It's Grandmaster, I think it is called.
Yeah.
So it'd just be nice if I can run, if my calf muscle doesn't pull every time I start training, that I can get out there and maybe set some goals on over 60. I've got a couple of sort of ideas. Hout Bay will be one of them, absolutely. Maybe an ISDA marathon to go back there. I still hold number 1 permanent number there, which is the nice thing to put on every time I pitch up there. So maybe that's worthwhile to go and run that one. But it's just to sort of set goals, or whatever you call it, at the age of 60. It's not going to be anything like I could do, but I'll try my best.
Absolutely, and I think that's incredibly inspiring for anyone in the same age category. It's not a time to take ourselves out of that competitive space, but just to perhaps choose different goals and plan them differently. Is there any advice you've got for individuals looking at running the virtual option this year, and perhaps planning to do the actual race next year?
Go and do the virtual option. My only bit of advice is please only do leg 1 with the group review. There is a bit of a security risk on that one, so please do that just with more than one person. But go and run it. It is a beautiful, beautiful leg. Take time at the top of the radar station to look at the views. Go across and look at Komiki Lighthouse from the top there. Leg 2 is a stunner. Drop cars off at the start and the finish and go and run leg 2. The only section you can't run is through Sol Kersner's property, so leave that one out. But start off with maybe running leg 3. It's the easy of the 3. And go and run that one. Go and just get a taste for what it's like to run the route. Then do leg 2, and then come and do leg 1 at the end. Leg 1, You just want a little bit of confidence in the fact that you can come downhill on really technical stuff before doing leg one. But the virtual route is stunning, and the fact that you've got nice spaces to start and stop, and that's important. I always feel like, for example, leg two, come into Seikabosi, they're admitting people for coffee, ask for their famous scones, go and run leg two, and then finish off at maybe the coffee shop at Top of Constantia Neck afterwards. It just very much like what Gone to Gone did. It gave people the chance to run to at an attractive venue at the end. And that's what I think you should start doing. Just enjoy the mountain. That's what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. And the local coffee spots and restaurants need our support as much as the race organizers do during a time where the normal revenue stream is obviously not there. So I love that. I love the idea of adding in a support of the local while you're out there enjoying the mountain. And most restaurants in that area are very used to sweaty trail runners coming in, steaming off the mountain. They'll often accommodate us inside or outside, regardless of amount of mud or blood or banter.
Yeah.
So that's a fantastic addition to it. Mark, thank you so much for your time and for an amazing insight into where Hout Bay Trail Challenge and trail running in South Africa came from. I think it's incredible that races like Puffer and Hout Bay Trail Challenge are still here and available to us to run. And I hope that all the newbies coming in appreciate the long, beautiful history that has stretched out behind where we are today. It's a very competitive calendar, and it's sometimes really difficult for all of us to make choices around which races we should get behind. But I don't think you can really have a trail running badge of honor until you've done some of those Cape Classics.
I agree with you. And if it's too daunting to do the full marathon distance, go and do a leg. Get a couple of friends and come do a leg. It's a beautiful way. And maybe over 3 years, do different legs. Start off doing the one, then go on to progress, and then progress to do all three before you then try to do all, the whole thing by yourself. And don't forget the little brother to the Hout Bay Trail. And I'm just going to plug on that one, the Fisherman's Trail. That's a stunner of a route. And it changes direction every year. Absolutely beautiful route as well. That one is Ken Finley's route that he gave Richard, that idea. The whale expert. So that's something else, a little bit of history involved in that route as well. And that's Hout Bay's little brother.
It's embarrassing. I've never done Fisherman's. It's definitely on my list to do. I've done Hout Bay and I love it, but yeah, Fisherman's has to feature at some point in 2021. Thanks again, Mark. I'm hoping to chat to your very talented racing daughter within the next few days, and I look forward to reminding her that you've matched her on certain legs of the Hout Bay routes. And I'm glad that
she'll tell you the difference in the seconds.
Fantastic. Stay well and warm, and love to the family, and hope to see you out there on the mountain soon.